Motion May 5th, 2017. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. John, here. Dale, here. Ron, here. Sean, here. Troy's here, everybody's here. Okay. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda today?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Dale to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. April 21st meeting minutes.
The only thing that changed from when I sent it to you last night was I did see that, did hear that I had the wrong date of the next regular meeting, so that has been switched.
Anybody see anything else?
Motion to approve the April 21st meeting minutes as presented and dispense with reading.
Moved by Dale, seconded by John to approve the minutes as presented and dispense with the reading. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bills. You put this one in here, assuming that we probably didn't want to do it, or what?
It's in there, but this is what came in the mail, so I just put the reasonings with it.
What's that?
This dues.
Oh,
So
you
that-
assume they hadn't been reading Rod's website.
Wow, what's on there? We've never paid this. We paid it, I think, 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and we haven't paid it since. And I don't, you know,
See, what happened 4 years ago?
I went to the conferences 2 years ago, so then we actually paid it. But I have not went to the conferences. I have not been participating in any of their stuff. So
There's no reason to belong to this. Is it in here?
it is in there. Yes, that's why I put the reasoning so that it was flagged, so you guys would know that it's
Okay.
in there.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing
Didn't even see
is
it.
on. I know my printer doesn't highlight stuff very well, but there is one account that's going over, and that is the IT server. And the reason for that one going over is because Travis's bills get kind of confusing and then to match it up with the budget numbers. So I'm gonna have him kind of help me. And he says that a few things should have been coming out of the backup, and I haven't taken anything out of backup. So we're gonna get that cleaned up. And
Yeah,
so
transfer some stuff.
Yep, do some corrections and stuff like that, switching some accounts, but
Page 7. JDA exam.
Those are the last two grants. After this, we're done.
Did they turn receipts in and everything?
Yep. I got all the documentation for them. If you want to see that.
They were approved.
Right, I know they were, but I thought they were paid after the work was done, and I know the work hasn't started yet, correct? The Randy Giswold one?
He's got two.
Yeah, you don't get paid till it's done.
Right.
This is the information that I have. The other two things that are like paper clipped, those are the actual receipts.
Yes.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay. And you went through and matched those receipts to this? To these?
No.
Okay.
No, I just got those top sheets and said how much he was owed and made a voucher.
Okay.
It is done.
Well, there's receipts, I didn't go through all of them, but there are receipts from outside companies matching what he's done. Where's his fourplex at?
Is it on the?
Is that over by the high school?
I think so.
Okay. And they're both those are to Randy Giswold, the 1,500 and the 5,000.
Yep.
And that was the only two left pending, right?
That's what she said. These are the only two outstanding grant projects we had, so it should close things out for the JDA.
Okay.
Any other questions in the bills?
No, I was just trying to find that $200.
It's on page 9, well, halfway down.
Oh yeah, now I see it with the line through it.
Yep. That's how I found mine so quickly. I'd move to approve the bills as presented with the exception of the $200 to the School Board Association.
Been moved by Sean to approve the bills with the exception of the North Dakota School Board Association. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron? Aye. Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Monthly office reports. What dues did we,
What?
Oh, the weed board?
yeah,
Looks like an annual thing.
well, we must have approved it at the last meeting, right?
No, I suppose it's approved in her budget.
Yeah.
Oh, Megan does this?
Or did these pass through to us?
No, these go to you.
Oh,
I can look into it if you would like. Get you an account history. I'm wondering if it's just the ND or North Dakota Association of Counties weed something or other, but
I
I'll.
don't think the weeds is part of the North Dakota Association of Counties, I don't think it's.
Oh.
Might be.
it will be if they think about it.
Well, maybe.
You're missing an income source here.
Maybe find out so we don't make that mistake again.
Okay.
So, yeah, we don't know if it was last meeting or when it was. It could have been any time between January and now, right?
Unless it was not on their last monthly office report, then it would have been this past
Mm-hmm.
month.
If you could from now on, Sam, flag anything that says dues.
Okay.
Let's see it.
I have already doing an account history for you.
I moved to approve the monthly office reports as submitted.
Been moved by Ron to approve the monthly office reports as submitted. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Advertisements for county-owned property.
So you have some ads in your packet, and we just need to kind of fill in the blanks. Is that correct, Amy?
Yeah.
On page 27.
Which newspapers are you gonna run it in?
I was just doing the Courier.
But I mean, it'll run in,
Oh,
the
it'll go in the 12th,
12th paper.
the 12th and 19th. Well, I guess it depends on what you guys wanted, because we'd probably open them in June. So I could do it the 26th and the 2nd, so that they run 2
Just needs
weeks.
to go 2 or 3.
3.
3, okay. So then the 19th, 26th, and 2nd
Okay.
is what I would do.
So the logical time to put in here then would be
July 3rd or June 3rd is
for the second's a Friday, isn't it? So should we put June 9th there and then open them during the, no, I think that's not a meeting on June 9th.
Have to open during a meeting.
Yeah,
There's a meeting on the 9th.
oh, there is?
Yep, the 9th and the 23rd next month.
Okay, so.
You're the pink. You're the pink highlighted numbers.
Who's orange?
That's
Waterboard.
Waterboard. No, that's
Court.
social services.
No.
It's court.
That's
Social
court.
services.
Court is blue.
Court's blue, there you go.
Social services only meets once a month.
They
Oh,
do a different one. They do some like family thing.
oh.
Yeah.
I think that building uptown better be advertised more than in the Courier.
Mm-hmm.
It better be a big area here.
Well, it can even be advertised online, throw it up on Griggs and throw it up in Bisman.
Yeah, the state has a website you can advertise on, don't they? The state of North Dakota.
And it better have a little bit more detailed description. It better describe it as a former bank building vault. I mean, that's the value of it if somebody wants to come to town and have a.
Okay.
Well, and the reason that I say that is because I was having lunch one day, and you know, we were talking about it at the table, and somebody said, you know, I've heard rumors that there was a credit union that was looking to open branches where there weren't any. And if you got, you know, Jamestown's got a great big credit union, Devils Lake's got a great big credit union. Those guys in Devils Lake have branches. They have 2 branches in Grand Forks and Lakota and Adams and St. John, and the one in Carrington's got a branch in New Rockford and someplace else. And the one in Jamestown's huge. They go all over.
They're in Fargo and Mayville.
I think they're part of the Valley City one too.
Valley
I
City.
think so.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
They're
from there.
they're in Napoleon. They're all over it. Heck. So it'd be nice if we could catch. You know, I suppose we can't hire a realtor to do this.
I think you can.
I don't see why not. We still could put up the bids. We still could get commission.
I think you can.
Don't you think that would be wise?
I believe so.
So, interview realtors? Get a proposal from realtors?
I don't know.
You have to have somebody that specializes or that has commercial real estate that has a bigger exposure.
How do we do that? Would we just have Samantha call around to realtors and, or-
Yeah. from realtors.
But we still have to advertise it in the local paper.
Right.
But then we would put the auction date on here. And have the realtor out knocking on doors.
And there's no hard rule that it has to be only 3 weeks. It can be longer than that.
Right.
Right, we could do the other one, get that one going, and then
Yeah, well, this could be 2 months or 12 weeks or whatever you guys want to set a date for it. But it's just that it has to be advertised for at least that amount of time.
Right.
I do know that like Stacey Arset puts hers in the paper herself.
She wouldn't have the exposure we're looking for. We're looking for a commercial realtor that would have
Like a
exposure
Remax.
outside of
Like a
Cooperstown,
Okay.
and that would have business customers looking at it.
Okay.
Probably have to be someone on fire.
Yeah, Fargo, Grand Forks, or May, yeah.
In Jamestown.
Jamestown.
That Bank of the West, I forget who they got after Org Trendy, but it was a Fargo company, Fargo
Right.
Realtor. They had a pretty big name, but I can't remember what the name was.
I just put that.
That was
in.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Kevin Pfeiffer.
That's what we should get a hold of.
Well, I can speak with Jim Hocker up in Lakota about it next week and see if that's something they'd be interested in.
Does he work for Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
Who works for Pfeiffer? Lindsey Brown worked for Pfeiffer's. Remember him? He used to work at Citizens State Bank in Finley. He sold that Olga Erickson place down there. That's how I called the number on that sign. Ended up, oh, this is Lindsey Brown. Oh, Lindsey Brown.
So should we put that on, just kick that till next meeting and get some names and numbers and then
proceed with the
decide?
other property.
Would you guys like me to talk to Hocker?
Yeah.
Or someone else, or Pipers, or
That's
Kent, or-
Piper, yeah.
So there's nothing for Samantha to do then, probably.
Not on that one. The
Okay.
other one this weekend.
Now, the other ones, we can just have it on the meeting on the
I mean,
9th.
The only thing on that other one, that one with the trailer house on it, I don't know if cleaned up is descriptive enough.
Should it say trailer house and all personal property must be removed?
Removed, yeah.
Which one is that?
Is it Roberts?
Oh, the one that
The old web
Webb's?
place.
Oh my god.
Got
We
it.
can do that.
It
We can
looks
say all personal
awful.
property and
I drove
trailer
by
house
that
must be
too.
removed within 60 days.
Did you look
But-
at the back?
No, I just do remember.
I'll go have a page search that right now.
Okay.
Okay, and then, so if we're giving them 60 days to get that stuff off of there, then should we put in here that we're gonna hold the deed in escrow?
Yeah, we'll have to.
Okay.
I mean, we'll have to. Give them the deed and they just, there we go again, and it starts to clock
Nothing
down 3
happens.
years.
Well, like I said, what we do in Nelson County, or what they do in the city of Lakota, and it's worked, is that they sign over the deed, and then they have a quick claim deed, and if it's not done in a time period, they just file a quick claim deed. That person signs the deed back to the county. If
Oh,
it's
I see.
taken care of it, they just file the deed again right away.
So we give them a deed and then he's had a quick claim deed back.
Purchase agreement with those conditions in it, then they get the deed, then we have them sign a quick claim deed that comes right back to the county if it's not taken care of. in
That's
time.
probably cleaner, then they go, yeah.
That'd be fine,
This is the
if they trust us. They get it all cleaned up and then we file it quickly.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Okay.
Okay, so nothing that I have to do on that, right?
Not the bank building.
Not the bank job, okay. But
Yeah.
he's gonna
The other-
redo the ad for me and then
Well-
get it back? Okay.
And I feel we proved already that dues thing, North Dakota Weed Control Association. Dang it.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Probably up and coming thing.
Bloodsuckers under every rock.
Got one guy working an outpost up at Teddy.
No, Elgin, I think
Oh,
it
is
says. That's right, it says Elgin, I think. Doesn't the address on that thing?
Is that where they have the annual conference?
I don't know, that's what it says. Right? Snuck one through again. Big red flags from now on.
Sorry about that.
No, it was your fault. We okayed it. Didn't mean to.
That's the danger of going through this report instead of looking at the actual
Invoices, yeah.
the vouchers, you know.
So we need Jamie to clean a little verbiage up on this then, yeah?
Yeah, and I think he was going to do that. Maybe we can just come back to these.
Yeah, we can go do Bob now. I kinda wanted to have Jamie in here when Bob was in here, but
Oh. Or we can go to something else.
Well, we can talk about the Tyler Technologies. I wanted Connie to be here for that just because she was at the presentation too. And
the Tyler thing?
yeah,
Do you wanna talk about that right now?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want Jamie to be here for Bob's stuff. But the Tyler Technologies thing, I contacted them and told them that you guys were not interested because it was too overly priced and we were just going to keep with our current system. And they said, Joe would like to come back and speak to you about the price. And he would like to be on the agenda for the 19th. So
That
now,
was just their initial offer.
well, what,
Well,
What
I
I-
suggest if he comes back and lower the price, he would not come back.
well, what I think that he's going to do is say, okay, well, you can get by without this, you can get by without that, and then once it comes to, if we did do it and then it comes to deployment, then I'd be like, well, what about, can it do this? Yeah, but you guys didn't purchase that, or something, you know. So he's wanting to come back, and I was supposed to let him know if he got the approval, so.
Well, there's already a motion that's been passed in the last meeting minutes that we don't do it. So
I mean,
I think it's a dead issue.
if you cut it in half, it wouldn't make any difference, I don't think.
Okay.
Well, the problem is Samantha said it doesn't even calculate the mills and stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, it's county software. Isn't that what county software should do?
Yeah, otherwise you just use
Otherwise, you might as well get the
Quicken.
ledger book.
clicking, you know.
So, okay,
Joe's out.
okay.
Okay, so I'll let him know that
Thanks,
just-
Connie.
She's got a smile on her face.
Well, okay, Bob.
Okay, I was on the agenda for the poll card, but I think I'll talk first about this Knife River situation and the overloads. They reached back to me, Jesse's their, guy named Jesse's their controller for that Northern Minnesota division, that's what we're in. And he's asking if he can come to the meeting on the 19th to propose their fix to this. I made it very clear that the fees were $20,400 and there probably would be no flex on that because of what was done.
And they're gonna fix it too.
Yeah, and that's what he said, they will do what's right with you guys and fix the road, so. What do you wanna do?
Are you gonna have him in a red, little orange suit when he comes in?
Not me, not my deal.
I've already assigned John to deal with him when he's here, so I suppose we should let him come.
Okay, and he asked what time, I said maybe like 1:45, that way Wayne's on first, usually at 1:20, right? So I
Yep.
thought it'd be good if Wayne was here to weigh into that, so.
So they paid the overweight permits to get to that road?
Yeah,
and then
they
explain
paid,
that.
they bought a state highway permit, which they had to do because it's overload season. I think they said it cost, I talked to this Tony in dispatch, who I've been talking with about legitimately giving them permits to get their crushers and stuff in here. And he said he looked into that, and he said they actually, one of the other dispatchers had got them a permit to move from wherever the equipment stage to there, and it cost them like $4,500 or $4,800 that day. And I'm sure what happened is once those guys got to that corner, they called and talked to dispatcher A, B, C, or D, and they just decided to drive down the road. And I said, well, they passed a $60,000 max sign and drove 5 miles on a spongy, soggy road, and someplace they sunk into their axles. So, and
Can't hardly plead ignorance when they're.
no, and he didn't try no bullshit. He just said this is what it is.
Not only that, but they're planning on using that as a haul road.
Right.
I mean, they need that road because they're doing that
Right.
highway project.
Yeah, and then we talked about that. He said that's something they would have been dealing with once they got closer to actually firing up, coming in and get a haul road agreement and to fix the road and stuff. And that's what they usually do.
Right.
But he said this is a very unfortunate situation within their company, and he didn't try to make any excuses for it. So he just asked if he could be here 19th, and I said, I'll ask you guys today if they'll email them back when they're done here. So.
Well, I mean, I just think the penalty, the fine is a penalty, and that's the incentive not to do it again, and then the damages are fixing the road. I
The
mean,
restitution is fixing the road.
And I made it very clear to them that it's not going to probably be the happiest room in the world when you get here. And I said, I can't imagine they're going to budge on anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if we got to be mean to them. It's just
No,
flat out. Here's what it is, guys.
And as I said, I told them don't come here and think you're going to smooth this over because that's not going to happen. The damage is done. So
Yeah. I mean, so.
there was no effort made ahead of time. They could have. We could have given them a permit to move during road limits once we agreed it was dry enough, like a week down the road, but they didn't even.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, 145.
You can probably save their time if they don't want to come here, but they want to come here.
Yeah, I kind of suggested that, so I'll email that to them. And
It doesn't matter to me.
but I thought Wayne could be here. We've done those haul road agreements before when they did the overpass job in Hannaford. A couple
Yeah.
of ones, those guys fixed that road from Wallem East, gravelled it and bladed it, kept it wet down so it didn't blow away.
So they were going to have to fix this road anyway. So it really is.
And they probably would have. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure the money is not an issue.
No, quite a large company.
Yeah.
Right. I think they're the biggest aggregate company in the world.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll email him back then.
Thank you.
Next, I guess that patrol car thing I handed out. His numbers are pretty clear there. Insurance reserve, road check already for the car, and then I'm supposed to submit them bills for reinstalling equipment that needs to be replaced. I don't know to what degree they'll replace the equipment, but said they would do that. So that's those 3 numbers. VWs we talked about the pickup. They cannot get a patrol car. They just can't. If they do, they're going to pay, thousands more than anybody else will get it for because they just don't deal in that universe. Closest they can get is a special service vehicle, but it's not a patrol car. They've got it'd be a car like you or I would buy. They've got center consoles and that stuff, and you can't mount equipment in there. It's just with the airbags and that, it's not really feasible. So that comes, if we were to sell that vehicle, they said between 85 and 92 roughly what they thought ours was worth in the condition it is once the stickers and stuff are removed. So that comes to approximately $13,925. The Durango through the dealer in Illinois, Thomas Dodge, they're at $25,957. Ford was $25,797, I believe, within relatively close. Equipment install estimate there, $5,500 to $7,400, and that's something we have to take a deeper look at and see where we can go with that. So that would be roughly the $32,497. That would be like the maximum cost, and I can try and get that chewed down. I could look at the difference, the vehicle cost versus the revenue. We come back to $18,572. We've had good luck selling those vehicles in the past. They put reserve on the one we sold.
I guess I'm a little slow here.
Okay.
On the first one here, what is it? We're gonna buy something for $8,500?
No. Sell that silver Dodge pickup.
So then, and that doesn't do anything with the one that got smashed then?
Right, the smash one we got $3,400 for, it's the top one.
Oh,
That's North Dakota Insurance Reserve Fund.
That's for the one that got
Yep,
hit.
and then the
bad.
bottom end earth there, that's what they're estimating we estimated that cost. I told them that's a flexible number. I won't know until we got into it.
And Ender will pay that too?
Yep,
To put the equipment in it.
yep.
And so with this option, we just don't have, we end up with 2 less vehicles.
One less.
Or one.
One less, yeah. So we down to 3. And I have no heartache selling that pickup, I guess. Was never in my ballpark by choice. You know, I could see if that dealership would trade that pickup in, but you know, sight unseen. I don't know how you would get it there, or they could actually evaluate it closely.
How are you gonna get the vehicle here?
We'd have to go there. We've done it there.
So if they'll trade it,
What's that?
if they traded, you could drive it there.
Right, exactly. But I'd hate to
Where
drive
does
it
the
all
money
right.
come from? I don't think it's in the budget, is it?
Well, of course, not budget's right. It was an accident. If I could predict accidents, I'd budget for every one of them. If your house burns down, I'm sure you don't budget for that. That's why you have insurance. And I mean,
But we're not replacing that car that got wrecked, we're replacing a pickup.
or what?
We're replacing a pickup, we're not replacing
Yeah.
the car that got wrecked.
Yeah, I agree. I understand that. Yeah, sure.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought this to attention. I know during budget time, this offer was there too. I'd like to have sold that pickup and replace it with an actual patrol car, because that pickup is just a standard run-of-the-mill truck. It's not a patrol vehicle by any means. And it's obviously still got some residual value, so I think it's pretty prudent to get rid of it at this point before it deteriorates any further.
I think that engine costed more than $8,500.
$7,500.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fully aware of what that truck is costing county. Fully aware of it. I've had to eat the guff on it, so I'm fully aware of that.
I didn't yell at you anyway.
No, I'm sorry. It's business. My skin is thick.
So
Well, he's not the one that kept driving it after all the lights came on then.
Yeah,
I know that, but he employed the guy.
I didn't. I just handed him down. So. He took care of himself, though.
Yeah, that's too bad.
So with this last one, then the revenue is that 13,925, that comes from the first option up there.
Correct. Yes.
And that revenue could be applied to the Dodge Durango too, right? Or
That's what we're doing there.
That's how you get that net of 18,572.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know, I could get harder numbers on the equipment part of it in the install, but it's hard to get a solid number until we know what vehicle we're going with and what I'm able to reuse.
Think of fine.
Is there new equipment included with that, or is it just?
There will be some stuff needed. There's wiring harnesses that are specific for the vehicles now, and actually, I just talked to Beck when they just had one done. They spent $7,000 on theirs getting it upgraded. I talked to some other sheriffs. Depending on what equipment you can reuse and what you have to do, it ranges from $3,500 on up to about $7,000.
Those guys just buy pickups from Finley Motors.
Yep, they do. Yep.
Aren't they just run-of-the-mill pickups?
The pickups are, yeah.
Does he get the same discount, the same government discount?
No, they don't. No, they're spending way more than this
Yeah.
for their vehicles. And so I went to VW's and they tried Don. The only thing he can get, I said, or Larry, through Don's blessing, the only thing that they can get are these. It's called like a fleet service vehicle, but they're just what you and I would buy.
Mhm.
There's really no difference. They just have a special pricing and tax thing now for local government.
What's the difference between a patrol vehicle and mine?
Yours, the cooling system, the alternator system, the configuration of the front seats to accommodate a console to mount equipment in, because the airbag situation, that's all changed. This will have a rubber floor in the back, probably a rubber vinyl seat in the back. That's the difference. It's a stripped down vehicle. It's probably nothing you'd buy for your own use. like that Impala that had rubber floors in it, just some pretty decent seats in the front. These new ones have a little bit better seats, but other than that.
And this is where the state would source their vehicles from in Illinois.
The state sources, if they're gonna get a Dodge, it comes from there. If they're gonna get Fords, there's different dealerships that log into that state bid process. The state bid has a charger on it. But what way you guys have talked in the past, you don't really think a car is feasible for us, so that's why I went and looked at the SUV, and there's hardly even $2,000. I think even $2,000 difference. The car's $24,000, and Durango's is $25,000, whatever I have there.
You look pretty silly trying to drive a car down a gravel road after it snowed.
We did it for years. I drove a car here for several years. We had two Crown Vics that Paul had when I started, and they were kind of silly in the winter and greasy in that one, in gravel.
Good for somebody trying to get away from you in a four-wheel drive pickup.
What's that?
It's good for somebody trying to get away from you in a four-wheel drive pickup.
And I guess the other thing about this pickup versus the SUV, we have a lot of equipment we have to haul,
Yeah.
and the pickups are just not really set up for that. I do it, and Paul did it, but in the wintertime, the stuff in the back is froze, cold, and the stuff in the front isn't. And
What do you think, Dale?
Yeah, I think it's not a horrible idea. I don't know how we fund it at this point. We pull it out of the general reserve and replace it first of the year, or
It could come out of emergency fund, couldn't it?
It's not an emergency.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's as much of an emergency as what's come out of emergency funds before. Emergency funds are supposed to deal with weather, and this was heat.
yeah.
I'm just saying it's not an emergency from the standpoint of they don't like this vehicle because it's not as functional as they'd like it
Yeah, I
to
know.
be. But it could wait till the next budget cycle if it had to. Nobody's going to be on walking the beat if we don't do it today. Now, will the vehicles be more expensive in 2018? Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Well, on that line, I can just about assure you that this Durango will go up 1,000 or more. That's kind of how it seems to pop year after year. I know the Durango 2 years ago was
They all do.
23. So everything else, our vehicles do too. We buy. The truck will probably be down the value. So I don't know.
So how would we dispose of the pickup? Would we take that to VW and have them dispose of it for us?
Well, we could if they
Or we
agree
just
to it.
advertise it?
We could sell it too. That's what we've done in the past, and we've had good luck. You can put a reserve on it.
Right.
I can't imagine how much trouble selling it for that kind of a number.
What year is it?
It's an 06. We bought it. I think you bought it when it was 13 months old. It was a carryover VW said.
Yeah, what's the lead time on this? If it was okayed right now, how far forward? I mean, do they have them sitting there, or is it a long process?
The color is the issue. They said like 4 to 6 weeks
Right.
because Durangos are currently in production. See, in years past, how this worked, when Ford or Chrysler, they would do a run of patrol cars, and they would retool just to run them through. Now they just slip them in line because things obviously are more automated today, and they can make changes on a moment's notice. So we used to have it. You have to order your car by a certain date to get it by a certain date. That's not the same anymore with these new ones.
color doesn't matter here anyway. We got 4 vehicles and they're all different colors anyhow, right?
Yeah, I'd like to stay with silver. That was the plan. That's when the Impala, we would have had a silver vehicle out, but we couldn't pass that deal up. We got that car for about half what it would have been replaced with brand new, and it only had 6,000 miles on it. So that's why that one came white.
That's why it's white.
Yeah.
Would that have a couple 100,000 on it?
The Impala, like 170.
So how about the other vehicles, the Ford, how many miles on that?
I think that's around 80.
Okay, and the pickup,
Around 58.
yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not facing, and how many miles we put on the year?
Varies around 30 to 40.
Okay, so we're not looking at anything in the next year or the year after?
No, you know, most of my counterparts, and I've tried to do this since I started, is to get us on some kind of rotation, other than when something like this happens, or an accident of some severity, 4 years. These new cars, we should be able to run them at least 4 years.
Mhm.
At least 4 years. You know, I didn't plan on having to go through this with this
No,
car,
no,
and
you know.
obviously we are. And
Hopefully there's been a little bit of training with the people driving these cars.
Yes.
I mean, it was an accident, but to run something till it overheats and wrecks the engine because it's out of water, it overheats and wrecks the engine because it's out of oil. Not really acceptable if one of my employees did that.
right, I agree with that.
You know,
You know,
and I mean, that's kind of unheard of nowadays, actually, to have that happen with all the instrumentation in the
Yeah.
vehicle. And so then the, you know,
The penalty for doing something that you shouldn't do is you get a new one.
I was going to say the penalty for doing something that you shouldn't have done should be an old one, but the remedy for doing something like that so that we're covered is a new one. The way to cover it is warranty. The penalty should be an old one, but where are we at in that? Somewhere in the middle. I don't know, but I mean, I'd hate that. It's kind of disappointing when something like that happens.
very much so.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna sit here and call Mark a liar. At this point, he's been pretty.
No, I don't think. But I mean, the light had to come on, and somebody. I mean, it just unless someone. I mean, if he was chasing somebody, he could have stopped, and if someone was chasing him, then he could run it till it quits.
Yeah, he did stop. he did stop.
He stopped when it quit.
Yeah. I don't know.
And in that car too, I was looking at having to put just about $4,000 into it. It had some motor issues and some other issues that it just, you know, I milked that car, and that had nothing to do with the accident, but that part was.
So who maintains our vehicles? Are they on a maintenance schedule?
We do, yeah. They change oil on regular intervals.
At VW?
Yeah, VW does it, and Lennis has done quite a bit of it in Binford. Yeah. Scott Helmer used to some at Hannaford. Just wasn't. His prices were quite a bit considerably higher than the rest. And
So this one, when it's new, will be maintained at
VW.
then?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think if it's only 8 months to the end of the year, we could sure do it through the budget cycle.
It's up to you guys. I don't care.
We do have a functional vehicle still.
Well, I mean, yeah, if it's 8 months and we do it through the budget cycle, then that's, as long as we agree to that, that's fine. I'm fine with that then. So we can put the process in motion then and just plan one for the first of the year?
This might be a thing where we might need to purchase it in December to get the pricing where we want it. Is that something we can figure out when we get there? We've done it in before with cars because it can make considerable savings.
Yeah, as long as we,
By then too, I can give you some rock solid numbers what we're looking at.
yeah, hindsight, you know, it would have been, I guess, better to sell the pickup when we had the car going.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's,
Put an order in for January 1 delivery, and we should be able to get the pricing for 17 and delivery in 18 months.
Yeah, it might be an 18 car. That's the only thing. So I can see what they do. They do some funny thing with that end of ordering cycle.
Well, it's October generally changeover for model years. It seems like for.
yeah, maybe there's something with, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Anybody?
So do we need a motion to instruct Bob to
Yeah.
get prices for us for January 1st?
I think you just pre-approved his budget for 2018,
Would you say that again?
at least part of it.
Speak into the microphone.
Do you guys want any additional information, Don? You want any additional information on this Knife River thing for prior to that meeting that help you out, or?
Do we need any?
I don't think so.
I
but
mean, you
if there's-
find them, didn't you, and they're gonna fix the road, so I don't think so, I think it's an open and shut case.
If they're gonna come and visit us anyway, he could bring the whole road agreement if they're
Yeah.
gonna,
Okay.
if we're gonna require one.
Yeah, I'll email to get that room here.
There's nothing to be mad at them about, they just screwed up and they gotta pay the price for that. Okay.
Okay.
Did you and Jamie know that there was gonna be an open house last Friday?
Yep, got the word of that.
You're aware now, or you were aware before?
We're aware before.
How come the taxpayers didn't get to tour their space?
I don't know.
Well, that I'm not sure about because I talked to you about that and my office is ready.
You talked to me about
I
that?
talked to someone, maybe I talked to Kelly. I talked to someone about it. I just assumed that they were going to get.
I mean, I didn't come to the deal, but I've had people ask me, well, how come we didn't get to go through the sheriff's department?
Yeah.
The hell if I know.
They didn't?
No,
Why?
can't get an answer.
No, I mean, someone physically barred them?
Yeah, the locks on the door.
Well, Paige was there, but
I've been
I
several
was
people try
told-
ask me why you weren't there to meet him as the county commission chairman. So what's?
Well,
Because I was at work.
I'm not elected official. I mean, I get the same questions that you do. You always think, I don't know if you always think that those questions just come to you. They come to me too. And I say you have to call and ask Troy.
That's fine.
And that's what I would expect.
But
that
I don't
same
have a
answer.
key to that room. You guys do.
Yep.
Paige
I'm
was-
asking how come
Paige-
that-
Paige was there, and I just
I don't have a full-time staff person sit there.
I didn't instruct anybody not to let him in, so I don't know why they. But I don't remember who I talked to, Kelly or Samantha. It must have been Kelly.
You didn't talk to me.
Someone.
Not that I-
Or
not that I-
maybe Connie. I don't remember, but I was just told they weren't going down there, so I didn't.
well, evidently that part was true.
I know several and saw my office in the hallway. So
I thought someone else had something going on, so I just left it at that.
Wow.
My secretary was there, so I had no problem with it. I had her set stuff off the side of my office. I figured people would go through no matter what, so I just. I don't know.
Don't get it. Just saying.
Yeah, I did, it's, unless we have another one, we can't undo it.
No?
No.
I was confused at the same thing because I had Paige get my office ready for people to come.
Okay.
Okay.
Who was giving the tours?
Kelly. And Connie did a little bit just down on that end, and then Tammy did a little bit on the social services. It was kind of like a divided kind of thing.
Well, that's kind of too bad.
anything else?
Nope.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob.
Good.
Piss me off.
Yeah, seems to be a mindset that's hard to overcome.
Foster County drain.
Did we do?
Was anybody going to be here from the water board, or what?
Oh, I think that was probably just me. I don't know how I even got. John, I talked to John about it.
John asked me to put it on the agenda.
I don't know if the water board was supposed to be here or not.
No,
I've got all the information about it because I went across my family's land, I guess. So.
I just wanted to know what the responsibilities were of the county if something should happen. Where do we stand in this thing?
So I'll let you guys know what's going on, what started this. Got a notification, I think you got called to. Doug Zink from the Foster County Water Board called. They started looking for a stream crossing study in February of 2016, I think it was. There's a drain that I can give you guys a general area of it. It crosses just south of Highway 200 from just south of Larry Erickson's farm and I guess land of Grandma's. The drain runs across Anderson, Tim and Mark Anderson's land, through some of the Hoverson's land, Tim Weber's, back through Tim Anderson's right by his yard. Across Weber's, across that big drain that's right on the Sutton Road, that's a gully that's been cut pretty deep. That runs through Trenches and then through Doug Johnson's and through Ramsey's and into the creek. And what happened is that it's been a fight since before you guys were commissioned. I think it was 10-11, there was a fight over that culvert on the county line. It's currently a 24-inch culvert. It was a 24-inch culvert. 10 or 11 it washed out. Fight between Griggs County and Foster County to put a larger culvert in. 24-inch went back in, and this FEMA wouldn't have paid for it under FEMA regs. There has always kind of been a fight. There's been some extra draining going on west of that culvert. Now they requested a stream crossing study for the last 3 culverts in Foster County, and that's where we came into play with the Foster County Water Board. Foster County Water Board, due to the stream crossing study, wants to put 2 36-inch culverts in there to replace a 24-inch culvert. Now, according to Century Code, that after a stream crossing study is done, county or townships must put that size culverts in, or else they could be possibly held liable for damages to upstream buildings or crops, that sort of thing. So that's something that the townships are working with. The county really doesn't have anything to do with the county line. It's a township road. The county line road's a Kingsley and Glenfield Township road. The only thing that if the stream crossing study goes further, which I don't know if it's going to, the county could have some issues with possibly having to do something with the culverts on the Sutton Road. That's the only county. That's the only road that the county I think would be responsible for. With that said, there was that meeting in Glenfield. There's been several meetings since then, and there's actually a committee of Kingsley Township and Glenfield Township guys that are working on it as far as figuring out what's to put a bigger culvert in and getting the draining situation taken care of. So right now, I don't think we have to worry about anything. Tom Dahl's involved with it, with attempting to clean the drain, and of course my family is, and all 7 families are from the county line east. So as of right now, I don't think that the county has to worry about anything. I don't think there's going to be an engineer hired on the east side of the line to culverts crossing. So as far as that goes, I don't think there's anything for the county to worry about right now. Or I guess that's update you guys on it. There are the group of individuals looking for alternatives as far as running water in other places other than down that ravine or down that drain. And I think that they've been in contact with the highway department, and I think the highway department wants to run down there as an alternative. That way they have to deal with the culverts, and the county doesn't have to deal with the culverts, and the townships don't have to deal with the culverts. And it can take some of that water over there.
But if they're gonna take that much water that fast to the creek, they need to,
Well,
that needs to be considered all the way to the lake.
And that's another thing that things need.
We're talking 83 cubic feet per second.
Right, it's a lot of water.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
and 83 cubic feet, that's just at the county line. It doesn't take into consideration all the other water that's put in that drain from there to the creek either.
Right.
I guess my question are the culverts that are in place in Griggs County, were they put in via a stream study?
No.
Okay, are they grandfathered in because of their size?
I don't.
And secondly, if does Griggs County, can a stream study be forced on Griggs County? Or on Kingsley Township?
I've spoken with Sean Fredericks from Monster Twitchell. He's one of the probably best water attorneys in the state, I think. And what he said is that we can't stop them based on that code. That if they don't put it in, the township could possibly be held liable for any damages all upstream from that water stop.
So if they cause damage downstream, then they're liable for
It's
that.
the same thing.
Right, if they don't give notice, if they cause damage downstream, they could be held liable for that damage too. What needs to be done and what's been attempted to be done, like I said, I've been going on with this for years. We've been trying to get a way to get the culvert sized from the creek back. That's the only way it's gonna fix anything. And everybody's working on to get it figured out. But you're right, we're gonna have to worry. There isn't a desire to run more water through it, at least from the Griggs County side to the creek. That's not the plan, is for Griggs County to add additional drains to it. We just want, the landowners just don't want this water bottled up on them that's coming from Foster County. The Foster County is draining.
Yeah, but I still don't believe that Foster County has the right to come to the county line and dig past the boundary between Griggs County and Foster
No,
County.
I don't think so either.
So a culvert,
But
the stream study.
the township, in my understanding of it, John, the township is now put on notice that those culverts should be in there.
No, the townships in Foster County are put on notice. Griggs County was not a part of the stream study.
No, Griggs County wasn't.
Right. So the townships in Foster County have been put on notice, not in Griggs County.
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and so Griggs County, Foster County can dig to the middle of the road and put up two 36-inch culverts on that side of it, but it's gotta come out on the other side of the road as a 24.
Right.
That's the point. There's not this nonsense that they can come and dig the road up and dump the water. It can't happen.
That can happen. That
Okay.
won't happen.
That was the
I
point
apologize
of
if I
it.
misled anybody. That won't happen.
Yeah, but the stream study was done for Foster County, was
For
not.
Foster County, without any notice to Griggs County, the only notice that we got of the stream study was it 2 days before the meeting, a day and a half before the meeting?
Right, and
That's the
see,
first word that Griggs County never got any word of it. So I don't, and I haven't researched it. I kind of stepped back from it because I kind of have a conflict dealing with it since
well,
it's.
I kind of did, and so in order for the stream study to be done, the affected townships have to sign on to the stream study.
Great, Griggs County didn't.
And so then, if they've signed on to the stream study, then yes, if they don't comply with the stream study, they are liable. But Griggs County never signed on to it.
Oh, I see.
And additionally, it's my understanding that the engineers that did the stream study have an ethical obligation to notify Griggs County, and they didn't do that. Like I said, the first time Griggs County found out about this was 2 days before the meeting and after the stream study came back.
Who did it?
More.
Yeah. But again, there's just no way in the world they can open that, make us put a bigger culvert in, and Kingsley Township can't be liable because they never did a stream study.
And right now, John, and all you guys, right now, there isn't, I don't know what Glenfield Township has done in the last couple of weeks, but there wasn't really any talk of doing anything other than trying to get the
Yeah, I
water
know.
out of there in the first place.
But I mean, we've got a lot of worried calls about people, they're coming out here with a backhoe, they're gonna dig the road out, they're
Right.
gonna dump water on us.
But one thing I will say is I don't trust the chairman of the Foster County Water Board one bit.
No, but I mean, if they do that, it isn't like it can't be fixed. If they
Right,
dump
right.
water
No,
on
no, I
there,
know it can be fixed.
then it gets filled back in and the damage
Right.
is done by the water. I mean,
No, I understand what you're saying.
drainage is supposed to be a civil matter between the people that are affected by the drain. All this, the municipalities are supposed to do is promote and move the process forward once there's been an agreement made. And that's why we have legal drains. Everybody signs on, they want the water drained from here to there, and the water board or whoever's going to shepherd the project through does that. But they don't make decisions on it.
Right.
They just administer
Facilitate.
the product, the project. And that's where we've gotten in trouble with our water board. Rather than administering projects, they make decisions. And that isn't the way it's supposed to be done. So, you answer my question. They can't come and dig in.
Right. No, they can't
Yeah.
dig through it. Like, Griggs County wasn't a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's the now that spring work has started, that things will slow down again, I suppose, with the
Yeah.
quote unquote negotiations of time to get it cleaned out, but there's a committee or a group of guys from each township and each water
Yep.
board that are trying to work forward to get something taken care of with it. So as of right now, I don't think I'd be too terribly concerned about anything.
No, I wasn't. I just wanted an opinion so I could answer the people that were asking me.
But it did cause, there was some ruckus all of a sudden that Saturday morning. I didn't know
Yeah.
really what was going on either until there were vehicles all over at our place. And
I mean, that's all we did in Gloucester County and Griggs County Sheriff's laying on these opposite sides of the ditch shooting at each other.
and that's what it came to last time.
Well, I know, they called.
It,
I know.
it came to both sheriffs out there, both water boards out there.
Yeah.
And it was resolved in the right way.
At this point, the water board should have nothing to do with it.
No, nothing.
It's
They
not a
have-
legal drain.
No. They have
Nobody's
zero
asking
with
for
them.
anything. They shouldn't even be there.
No.
All that is more confusion.
Yep. I agree.
Okay, anything else for Jamie?
No, thanks, Jamie. That was my question.
You wanna look at the sealed bid thing on this? This ad was changed to read, "The purchaser must remove the trailer house and all personal property within 60 days of purchase." So,
I had the lady that lives next door. She's complaining about the trees, about the bushes, and a tree keeps pushing some stuff onto her property, and she would like that cleaned up. And I didn't know if that could be in there, but the way that you just read it, that's not. That doesn't have to be cleaned
I mean,
up.
it is doing what? What's it doing?
But
And just dropping leaves or something?
dropping branches all over her her land, and the bushes that are in between her land, they're awful, she says.
Oh.
And I drove by and they are bad.
tell her it's for sale, she can buy it.
I don't think there's anything. you can
What's
do
wrong
about
with
Nothing.
Yeah.
I've done exactly that.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
So we're gonna open these bids on June 9th?
Yeah.
So do you want it in for 3 weeks?
Yep, it has to be.
Do you want it in for 4?
3.
3, got it. So I'll do 19 and 26 in the second.
So, you want the bids by 4:30 on the 8th?
I'd say 1 o'clock on the 9th. That's what I usually do, since your meetings aren't till 1. And do you want it just in their courier?
That one I think is fine.
That one's all right. Okay.
There must be some local people asking about it, that's why we're doing this, right?
There's two.
Yeah.
There's two local people I've asked about it.
So,
Samantha, those two people that have asked about it, I think you probably should just give them a call.
Okay.
Tell them that it's going up for bids.
Do you have their phone numbers still? I'll try and find them. Thank you.
did we take action, do we need a motion to do that, maybe? I don't think we took any action before, did we?
Oh.
No, I don't think any have been taken. I think I would.
I think we were waiting for the.
Make a motion
Get
to
ready.
advertise the properties for sale as directed and set the sale date for the 9th.
All properties or just this one?
No, there's two properties, correct?
Right, but not the one uptown.
Right, there's 3 properties total, correct?
Right.
No.
Just two, but
Just
one
two.
of them's the one in town, and this other property, just two properties.
Oh, no, because then just this property here, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I thought there was 3 properties total.
I think there was 3 ads, but
There was 3
two
ads.
two of them were the same.
Okay,
The way it
okay.
looked.
Hmm.
No.
No.
That one's-
Oh. Lot 4, block 2.
That's what caught me.
Yeah,
Page 28 and 29 are the same,
same thing.
just different format.
Okay. Been moved by John that we advertise the property at Lot 4, Block 2 of the replat Lot 2 of the southwestern addition to the city of Cooperstown. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Who seconded that motion?
Dale.
Thank you.
Bateman?
Looks like the Binford City Council okayed this, so I make a motion to accept it.
Been moved by John that we accept the abatement for the city of Benford. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ron. Any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Well, we should have had a voice vote on that deal, maybe. I haven't heard from the Attorney General for a while.
Sure like to.
I'd rather not.
I want to talk to that sweetheart that works in his office again.
Oh, yeah. Can't remember who it is.
Yeah.
Mamma mia.
Every time I've talked to her, it seems like she's been having a bad day.
Getting a feral cat in the corner.
I thought you were being serious.
Huh?
I thought you were being serious.
Oh, I was. Seriously kidding. Audit. I think we've been putting this off, Ron, knowing that you study this more than we do, so
Yeah, I didn't really, I mean, I went through these pages, didn't see anything.
I was struck by the difference in format from this audit that you did and last year's audit you did. You lay them side by side and the format's completely different other than the front page.
Well, this is just part of the.
Yeah, this is just part of it.
I know.
We'll get the other 25 pages later, apparently.
I was looking for the page where the unaccounted money,
Oh,
like last year, where you didn't know where it came from, you just put it in there.
well, maybe that's on the other
Unaccounted funds.
25 pages.
so this is just a preliminary look at it.
Yeah. I mean, the first page, or page 32 is really the only, is really the page that,
He wants us to approve before he gets the whole thing done.
It's not to approve it, it's just to know that these are the way, this is all right, and then he'll continue on, I think. I don't think you guys have to approve this.
it's, yeah. Page 32 is gonna be what needs to be looked at when we go into this next budget cycle. And if you notice, the balances, the general fund it closed out with 855,000, the county road, 1.3 million. The wireless account is another one that's of interest here, 112,000. The one I thought we took care of, but evidently we didn't, is the flood 2009. I thought that money was transferred.
I didn't transfer anything because
Okay.
you guys were waiting for this audit to know, to know how much to be transferred.
Yeah.
But in the 2016 budget, we had put a line item in for transfers,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Of 126,000, and you did all those transfers, right?
No, you told me, you told me to hold off until we actually got the hard figures.
Okay, I thought we'd done those.
Well, we did, because we used those amounts for
The 17
the
budget.
17 budget, so if they didn't get transferred, we're gonna be short that amount of money.
So I think you did the transfer, yeah.
Well, evidently not, because it closed out, it closed out with $11,000 in it, so it couldn't have been.
Well, it closed out of that year. You
Right.
said leave it in, and then once we got to this year, I was supposed to transfer it.
And you haven't, okay.
I haven't done anything, but once you guys get this audit and know the hard numbers, then I can do the transfer. Then they'll be closed out for next year or this year's audit next year.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we used that money to fund some of those 17
Yeah, for
budgets.
2017. Yep.
Okay.
But I just haven't done the actual transfers yet because I thought that's the way that you wanted me to stay. That's why we were trying to get a move on this audit, was so we'd have those hard numbers so we can transfer those over.
Okay. And then, I don't know, the social services kind of, how did we end up with a balance in there on it? I mean, that goes against the way we were budgeting this thing. I don't understand that one.
No, I don't either.
You know, they were short-handed for quite a bit of the year last year, maybe, that's why. There was a couple people missing.
Okay.
You know, a bit, a lot of it's,
That one I don't understand.
We'd have to ask Tammy, but
a lot of it's salary.
The emergency fund, 2910, $153,000. There's just no way to get that money out of there, barring some kind of tornado or flood or something.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 32.
About half it down.
Without getting a little bit creative, as
has been done.
has been done.
Because that was the same with the R tax. You guys wanted that transferred into.
That's correct. And then the other one I had marked here, the weed control, Ron, we're not making much headway there either.
Which, yeah.
2970.
Yeah, I guess we just look at it again. That's the one that has to have 3 years worth of revenue in the levy, and
Right.
so
Yeah.
I think we did it right, but it's,
It doesn't go anywhere.
you know,
I mean, it's dead money. Regional corrections, how'd that end up? How did we end up with money in there? You know, we don't, that one, we just budgeted $30,000 the last 2 years just because for prisoner care. And evidently there's some revenue coming into that fund that we're not aware of.
which one's that?
Is that because of that?
2980.
That was the mistake that I made 3 years ago, where I funded the regional corrections and didn't fund FAR, and then it was the exact same amount, and so now I've just been doing transfers from regional corrections to FAR, or now it's road, for that 1 year.
And you haven't used that up yet?
No, because it's still 2014 that I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we still have back taxes coming in. It's very little when it does come in.
But so how much money does regional corrections owe the road then?
The 10 mils.
How much have you taken?
I have no idea.
Well, if you don't know how much you're taking, how do you know when to quit?
Whenever Connie gets money for that, it's for that year, for that fund, for regional corrections. We knew we didn't get any levy money for that, so that money just automatically goes to road.
Right, but if that's the case, then it shouldn't end up with a balance in regional
Well, that's what I'm
corrections.
asking, is that why?
Well, I don't know how it would be. I mean, yes, it would be if the money's not being moved to
It
the
is,
to the
yeah,
road
it is,
department.
no, it's getting moved every month.
That's a very small amount, right?
Yeah, because it's
Cause it was 2015 that it happened, so.
Yeah.
If it's only back taxes and
Yeah.
funding it,
Yeah,
it should be
Yeah, it
just your
shouldn't be
back
too
taxes,
much.
pretty minimal.
50 a month or 100 a month or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
So anyway, something, famous Chinese detective, something Wong.
Speaking of regional corrections, I apologize, I
Yeah.
probably should tell you guys what's going on with our prisoner that might get expensive. I talked to John about it, but I don't know if you guys were updated on it. We had a guy that was sentenced to jail for 60 days for revocation. He was supposed to do electronic home monitoring back in September, I think it was, or August. He didn't show up for his electronic home monitoring, so the judge signed an order to commit him to jail, and he was picked up April 10th. Found out right after he got to jail that he has terminal lung cancer, or is at least taking treatment. I understand from the jail that it's terminal. He's doing chemo like every other week, and tried to get him out of, made a motion, tried to get him out of jail, and tried to get the judge to let him out of jail. If he's set up for electronic home monitoring, he can leave the jail, except he's homeless, so the court won't allow him, since he's homeless. No one will set him up with EHM since he's homeless. I think I definitely isn't going to put an effort into finding a place because he's got meals and has a nurse and can kind of be babied while he's taking his treatment. He took his first treatment April 24th under the county, and he has another one set up. He doesn't exactly know when. He thought he had 2 or 3 treatments left, chemo treatments left, but he wouldn't find out when his next one would be until after he met with his oncologist again. Or got a call from his oncologist. So unfortunately, the county's going to have to bear the expense of paying for some of that chemo for him since he's in our custody and I can't get him out.
And we're not insured for that,
No. I've talked to Aaron Burst and Terry Trainer at the Association of Counties, and I do need to contact the jail. They've got negotiated rates with Sanford to get as cheap of rates as we can, and Jamestown's part of that network with the negotiated rates. But we're going to be kind of stuck paying for his medical care for a while.
I am a lot with a trailer on it.
What are we talking, what's a lot? What are the costs gonna be?
Well, based on the previous
Yeah, that other house in
experience,
the valley too.
when Rachel was going through her chemo treatments last year, it was like $10,000 every time that she went through chemo. So I don't know what they negotiated rate. That was insurance rate in statements I saw.
How old's the guy?
50s.
Unemployed, hopeless.
I mean, he's a ward of the state, I mean, and unfortunately.
And unfortunately, it just
I don't know, but it wasn't in there, Medicare or Medicaid. Did you talk to social services girls?
he wasn't, according to Trainer and according to but he's not a resident of Griggs County either. He's a resident of Burley County, or homeless, I guess. But according to them, he's not eligible for any of that stuff, the Affordable Care Act. I worked for about a week trying to figure out a way to get him out of jail or get him paid for, and I haven't found the solution yet.
He can't get Medicare?
Not that I am aware of.
Just leave them at Sanford when you take them.
Medicaid, yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard of other people that age,
Well,
that
and-
they get on Medicaid, but,
It's probably such a long, lengthy process, I would imagine that.
Yeah, every avenue I've gone down is Griggs County stuck paying for it. So, and it sucks because I did the electronic home monitoring to try to save the county the jail bill in the first place, and that came around and bit me in the butt. That's.
And what did he do wrong?
It was a DUI. He like his 4th or 5th DUI. So it was a felony, so he had to do 24/7. And be under supervised probation. His probation officer revoked his probation. We had sentencing. We sentenced him back to 60 days in jail. So I figured do EHM instead of costing the county that money, and then he didn't show up for his EHM. So we're gonna have probably a pretty significant jail bill this next month.
Well, this is definitely an emergency.
And that actually may be something that would be covered under the emergency fund. Do some research on that. I need to talk with the jail again, and I have haven't talked to them about what they thought it was gonna cost, but I talked to the nurse and she thought it was gonna be quite significant, but we are hooked, the jail in Jamestown's hooked up to get stuff for cost from Sanford.
Okay. So then there's just two more things on this audit. This CD trust thing, this 12,000, we still haven't done nothing with that.
No, I guess not. We talked about
That's
it.
already, like, it's already past the point that we could have done anything. So now it's back in there for another few years.
Well, we can take the penalty.
Or we could just turn over assignment to the people we're giving it to. Correct?
Yeah, I'm sure we
You pay-
Yeah, we could just change the ownership.
Right, yep.
Pay a chemo appointment with it.
Yeah, no, I think it needs to go back to the people that donated that money. And then the last one is the 23,000 in the senior citizens.
Do you know why that's there? Because normally, with these others, we just pay them, like the library, you just pay them.
I think they come in once a year to get their portion.
Senior citizens.
Senior citizens, yeah.
And they just haven't asked for it?
They ask for less than what we're levying.
Remember, they always turn in, the dollar value like they're supposed to, but they use the previous year's dollar value.
Yeah.
So then they turn that in thinking that's what they're gonna get. We give them the full 2 mills, and the balance stays
They don't
in
spend
the
it.
account. Then they come in to get their money and they ask for the, I think is how this happened.
And don't you get 4 requests, one from Cooperstown, one from Hannaford?
Yep, we get one from each of the clubs.
And I thought you just got Cooperstown and the other 3 didn't turn in a request, or did they?
I'm not, and can't really remember.
Okay.
I can look into that. I'll do
But-
an account.
This money's been levied on their behalf. I think we need to get it to them. I mean, it's obviously a mistake. They didn't leave it there on purpose.
Usually Bill Ralph comes in, I think it's Bill. Ralph comes in and he gives me all of the vouchers for each one of the clubs,
All right.
and then he comes to pick up the money. So it's usually just one person that does
So he's
the-
just taking what they spend.
He's taking what they spent, what they projected to spend, and then what they do is they go and they say, okay, last year we got X amount of dollars. This year, here's what we're going to spend, and here will be the money left over for the individual clubs. And I think that's what's been going on here. So they've been leaving the difference between their projected and what they actually got. Because as we've just been levying the maximum 2 mills, same with the Historical Society, the library, and sending it to them. Here they've been coming in and asking, here's what we're owed, correct? He gives you a figure?
I think so.
Right. Yeah. So the figure that he's using isn't a correct figure. It's the dollar value from the previous year.
But like for the Historical Society and the library, they don't come in and ask for it, you just give them
Right.
whatever comes in.
Yep.
So, I mean, you could,
Yep.
Yeah.
Historical and library, they're like that. The fair board is this way. He comes in,
Oh.
requests or requests the money that is in their fund. I pay him out once a year.
Right, but they do it correctly because there's no money left in their fund.
They're in the general fund in this one.
Okay, so did they have an ending balance in the general fund?
Yes.
They did too. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're not doing it correctly either then.
No, they come in once a year to get the balance in their fund. I pay that out once a year. Then they accumulate again.
Oh, okay, they just clean it out.
Yep.
Okay.
Once a year. Then it keeps going
Right, yep.
until the next time. Then
But the senior citizens don't clean out their fund. They
Right.
tell you how much they think they're owed.
I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember how they
Frugal.
do that one.
No, they just don't understand. They
Take
never
their
have
full-
got
they
their
don't
budgeting
take their full
process all went
disbursement.
up. Right.
Yeah.
They understood they were supposed to budget in dollars, and the only dollar figure they had to go on was what they got last year. So And that plays out pretty true if you look back at the budgets, the dollar figure on them hasn't went up much, you know, on what they turned in.
Yeah.
It should be just dispersed then.
I think we should just make the disbursement and clear that up.
He hasn't come in this year for that money.
He hasn't.
No,
Is
So
it-
they haven't been paid?
not this year, no.
Okay, we gotta set them up and start paying it just like you do any other tax levy. Because, so the money that comes in for senior citizens needs to be sent to them.
No, it's you know, that's their money when he comes in, that, like.
Well, I know, but that's not the way it works. The way it works is when we get the money, we disperse it to them.
Yep.
They're just like any of the rest of
Just
these.
like the city,
Yeah, city, school.
City or the
district.
ambulance or
Yeah.
any of it.
Yeah.
because they have their own checkbook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it evenly among the clubs or is like the Cooper one more than Ben?
All the major expenses come out of the club in general, and then
Oh.
each different club has their building expense, so they get a couple $1,000s every year for their buildings. But in general, it all comes out of the one fund.
Okay.
Oh, they all have one checkbook?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
They might have a checkbook in Hannaford, they might have one, but that just pertains to their building fund and the small, and the funds they raise there locally. But like for the Meals on Wheels and all that all comes out of one.
so the Griggs County,
Right,
so
so
there's one checkbook for all the senior
when they
citizens.
meet as a board, there's representatives from each different location.
It'd be
Sure.
very easy to disperse it
Sure.
then. Okay.
That's what I think should happen, Ron. Dale, I mean, I don't
It
know.
looks like their expenses are 43, their revenues, there was like $8,000 this year, 7,500 the last 2 years. So,
Yep. Yep.
When they come in, give it to all to them.
And then tell them you're gonna set them up and you're gonna pay them quarterly or like we pay the rest of these. When revenue comes in, we're gonna send it right to them.
That's monthly.
It's a monthly, yeah, okay.
As the tax revenue comes in, they divvy it out. I
Okay.
mean, you see it in the bills every month.
That's the way we'll do it with them then too.
That's why you have one big one and then lots of little ones.
And, you know, they could fix this if they don't want it all. You know, those people
No, but they're always struggling for money.
are they?
Yeah, I mean, they only get 2 meals. No, they're always struggling for money. The van's got like gazillion miles on it and no, they're,
Then they just all have it.
yeah.
Okay.
And the buildings are always.
Anything else in the audit?
No, that's all I see. And
So
I mean, I guess.
Amanda can,
Try to look at it a little more with those transfers. The ones you made, you haven't made and stuff.
Okay.
We'll have to look at, apparently we'll have to give them authorization to make payments.
right.
Well, if they're not made, we'll figure out which ones we didn't make because those accounts will eventually be,
Yeah.
overdrawn,
Right.
right?
No.
They better be if we didn't make the transfer, because we use.
Well, because
the
it's all
money.
in one, you know, like, it's all one bank account, so it's not like we're gonna overdraw.
No.
And then
the
on
fund.
on your,
The fund will be overdrawn.
the fund, those were pushed back to zero. I put in your budget numbers and now they're gonna continue. If you look at the reports or whatever, the expense and the revenue, those all went to zero. Now they got their budget number. So it's not like you're gonna see a zero. And then on the liability, it's only if you push them into the liability report.
Yeah.
Then those.
So you're treating the software as we want to treat the funds in general, where they go back to the treasury and then are allocated out of the treasury.
That's how I have been doing them. Yep. Like
Yeah, but
the-
that's not gonna work. If, in my head, if she didn't do those transfers, so she took the budget number, all the expense for that budget, and put it in the software, then we levied too much.
But, I mean, for 2016, you did do all these transfers. I mean, like for social security, 105,489. I'm sure we talked about that, and,
This is the last day of the year, they're still in there.
you know, I think you transferred that social.
Well, he's
Security.
working off the general ledger.
That's at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the year, and I wouldn't have done any of those transfers in 2016.
But it says that 105,000. Didn't you and me talk about it? And we had that, you know, it says 127,000 was transferred into the general fund. And we had 3 or 4 items. One of them was the social security fund, and we looked at it, and you had made that transfer.
But you guys, this is a problem that we have all along on this thing, is that is that the software does not fit the levy. It never has. We don't levy when we figure the levy, that does not affect the software.
Yeah.
So we use the transfers when we were figuring the levy. We physically took it over on your spreadsheet and we showed, okay, here, and that's how we figured the levy. So the levy is gonna be fine. Because we did it that way.
Yep.
So the levy is gonna be
Oh, I
fine.
thought the software calculated the levy.
No, that's been my complaint all along here, that we never have these things tied together. So the levy is gonna be fine. We use the transfer to figure the levy amounts. She's also right that the money is in one big pot. So it really doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference if she transferred them here this last year. It makes a difference if she transfers them at the end of 16, but we're gonna close all that out anyway. We're gonna send everything back to the treasury and start clean.
You guys,
Zero it out and then we repopulate it again.
you guys
Yes.
didn't do these transfers in 2016,
15.
16. You didn't do them in 16. You wanted them done in 17 for 17's budget.
Right.
So I didn't do anything in 16. I am going to do them in 17 so that your budgets are correct.
Yeah, I thought you had given me that account history report. We had looked at the transfers, and the transfers were done in 2016. You know, like this social security, I thought you showed me a record that you had made the transfer. But,
It's been a long year. let me look.
It's been
Yeah,
transferred out on this report, the 105, it shows transferred out.
so it was transferred.
On that one, but not on some of them. That one has a zero balance.
Yeah.
The 105,000 was transferred out.
Transfer out.
The 53,000 out of human services was transferred out.
Yep, I did
The
those. I did
RTAX.
those. Yes,
Okay.
yes. I know. I
The
did
county
those.
loan was transferred out. The highway.
Well, I think most of them, yeah, transfer into general services, that 127, that was done.
Well, yeah, that goes back and back out in the end.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
the in and out there.
Okay.
No, I did the 15 transfers.
This is,
But I didn't transfer in our tax. I did not transfer in what was the other one?
Flood, wasn't it?
Flood. I didn't yeah.
but for Harold to pick this up, it has to be a 2016 transfer in the 2016 audit. You know, these transfers, he's showing what happened in 2016.
In 2016, yep. But the our tax is still there.
I didn't.
The 16,719.
See, the our tax.
I didn't transfer that.
Right,
I'm supposed to do it now in
Right.
this year.
yeah, okay.
And the flood,
Mhm.
I'm supposed to do that this year. I did transfer FAR and highway into road last year.
Well, every transfer listed here you've done.
Yeah.
Some of them are in and some are out. So the general has a positive.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
127, that's a combination of the Oasis, the county loan, the regional corrections, and I think the insurance reserve. But we didn't transfer enough out of the regional corrections for some reason.
And then the
None of this will make any difference if we just do the budget like we're supposed to.
Thought we had to go through 1 year of zeroing everything out and then
We do.
it'll be more reflective next year.
Yeah. This year.
Okay.
So are we ever gonna send Evers as their $12,000?
Jamie said we could do it, right?
Yeah.
I think.
I think he was looking into it. Yeah, I think that's what you guys were waiting for, was him to look into it. And then Connie had told me that it had already went through and couldn't get it out, or you can get CDs out.
Oh, we'll just transfer ownership of the CD to the people that are going.
Oh,
to
that's
do it.
all it is. Okay, okay.
But this is absolutely dead money. This is no use to anybody sitting here. It's
It's just
people-
gonna sit there forever.
right. So and we're not. The county's not getting any use out of it. No one. Let's give it back to them. It was a very nice gesture.
There's probably a question on who to transfer it to. I mean, there's the two sisters and there's the widow of August. You know, I suppose each one of those should get a third, but that's not up to us, I guess. Maybe.
Start a fight.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice gesture to give it back.
the two
Then it costs us
sisters and
money.
the widow. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and.
But I mean, it should go to the oldest, the closest relative.
Well, the kid.
Spouse first,
And she's dead.
and
Right.
kids
Then the
next.
children, yeah.
Yeah, so the two kids and the widow would seem odd.
John had 2 kids.
He had 2 sons.
2 sons and 2 girls.
2 girls, yeah.
Lola and Kevin, the other one.
All right, put it on the agenda for next meeting. Get this done.
Okay.
Okay. Tax director?
Sorry, I forgot to put this in your packet.
So what the heck is all this stuff?
That is all of the
Duties.
duties of the tax director for each month.
Who put this together?
Connie got that from somewhere. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking at March, like number 3 and 4. Do you do that homestead report? Or have you done it? And the veterans credit report, have you done it? Because I thought that was a state auditor, or a county auditor's job. And you've probably already done that.
I've uploaded the homestead.
This homestead report probably.
Yeah, I
And
think
the
so.
veterans report. And the assessor book ready from equalization meetings, we got that.
We need to schedule a county equalization meeting.
Your county equalization meeting will be June 9th.
At
Yep.
a regular meeting.
Yep.
I forgot all about those meetings. Didn't go to mine.
I still haven't got the report back to Connie for one of the townships, but I got it at home, so you bring it to her.
So the mobile home taxes fall under the tax director's duties. Other than that, unless they change the century code, I just don't get where all these duties are the duty of the tax director.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, really. It's just, it's not in the administrative rules or the century code.
Or the century code, okay, I mean, there's 4, 5. Powers and duties of the county tax director of equalization. Tax director has the power, duty, and responsibility to call upon and confer with the assessors in the county and assist in preparation and proper use of land maps and property records, cards, assessment books, changes in laws and rules, determination of proper standards of value, use of proper classifications of property, determination of what property qualifies as exempt from property taxes, and authority to require attendance at meetings to promote uniform assessment of all real property in the county. And that they're just supposed to help the local directors with that. And then supervise all individuals performing assessor services. And that's it. The other two have to do with cities. And then the county tax director of equalization shall succeed to all the powers and duties of the county auditor pertaining to the administration and enforcement of the mobile home tax prescribed in 5755. All the things the state seems to be telling us that the tax director is supposed to do don't seem to actually be duties of the tax director.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Ron made a good point that if the state wants that information, they're free to come and get it.
Yeah, I think we could do that. Just,
So this list is, somebody is putting together a list of things to do to keep themselves busy. This is from a past tax
I
director.
think so. I think that's exactly what it came from.
Justify a full-time job.
Right. What's a supplementary abstract?
I don't know. 'Cause you do some kind of a supplementary abstract or something, I think.
I have one, but I don't know what.
I think you sent it to me. It had,
I don't do it up though. I don't believe.
I mean, okay,
I think I just file it.
Because there was some of that that had to do with property on the tax rolls for the first time, you know, new property on the tax rolls versus something else. But yeah, it seemed like our best response could be to just do nothing. This is on the tax director stuff. And just let them contact us if we're not doing something.
There's deadlines that have to be met. So,
What deadline?
is there an equalization meeting that needs to be?
Yeah, oh yeah. The equalization
How
meeting.
about the county equalization meeting?
We're talking about this list of
Oh, okay.
things, there's about 4 things.
No, the county
that
equalization
code-
meeting certainly. That we have to end it.
It's on June 9th.
Yep.
Second Tuesday. But as far as some of these, you know, there's a whole list of reports here that I don't really think the counties have to do.
June 9th is a Friday.
That's your first meeting in June.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think this is a true list of duties of the tax director. I mean, regional meeting at North Dakota Association of Appraisers, county budgets are due mass appraisals. I mean, this is something somebody put together to,
mass appraisals?
I'm almost thinking that our last tax director put this together.
Probably.
Well,
I think she did.
No, I think this is something that Connie found.
Yeah.
I don't think this is something that Patty put together.
But was on the network though? I think Patty provided a list to you guys too last year like that.
That looks that way.
But I thought Patty got it from another tax, from another county.
So when's the equalization meeting?
June 9th.
I thought it was supposed to be the second Tuesday.
No, just before the 10th, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, it's,
The county equalization meeting is just before the 10th of June.
Oh, okay. Okay.
so you don't wanna see this anymore?
Yeah, we can see it. We'll
Okay.
see it. We'll see.
Well, wait, I'm just gonna throw it in my drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause
Well,
I
we
was
got a
just
whole
told to
bunch
put
of
this in your packet each,
Put it in the packet every time.
well, it was in the beginning of each month you wanted this,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Old courthouse, new courthouse.
I have a few things. The flagpoles, we're trying to get those put up, but with the plans, Brian had kind of talked to Dale about it a little bit, but the plans are like really,
It's a little more involved than he wanted to try and do.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be done when they pour the cement.
Yeah.
Brens are gonna have to do that.
Yeah,
Brian
that's
can't
fine.
do that.
okay.
I mean, we gotta pour concrete.
Yeah, there's sono tubes that go down, you gotta drill a hole, yeah. And they're here, when the brackets are.
There's steel culverts
Mhm.
that go down.
It's not in Brent's contract, but,
No, we're just gonna have them.
okay.
Okay, so they do that.
Yep.
And the doorknob to the social services, when they put their key in, it just continuously turns. So I had contacted Central Door and they were gonna look up, and I know that I'd contacted Travis and he said that this had happened on Sia's office door. And so I had contacted them and they were looking into if we could get it on, warranty. And it sounds like warranty is still okay, so we're going to be getting some new stuff. Is that something that you want Brian to put together? Is that something that Travis should put together, or do I need to get somebody else to put those in?
Well, who's Central Door?
That's where we got all the doors and the locks and everything.
They're
If-
suppliers, but they don't do anything.
No, and if we wanted a rep to come out, he said it'd be like $600 just for travel.
We got that carpenter,
Craig Stockland, yep.
Well, I'm sure Travis can put a lock in.
Yep. He did, he kind of helped me
Yeah.
with the other stuff or whatever with all of them. So have Travis do
He'll
that.
do it, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's kind of a carpenter by trade anyway, that's what his dad, he worked with his dad all the time.
Yeah. And then they were saying that the keys on the inside where there's nothing, there was supposed to be something. And he said that it was supposed to come already in there. And he's wondering why we didn't have them or whatever. So he's going to be looking into that for us too.
Who's he?
The central door.
Oh, take pictures of them, send them to me.
Yep, I did that.
Okay.
Yep. So that's
Supposed to have the majority of the cooling going today,
Yeah,
so hopefully.
and I'll get a hold of this concrete guys, they told me 2 weeks ago they were gonna be here this week and they didn't show up, so.
Okay.
let's see what's going on.
Anything else? Future business?
Just whenever we're gonna decide to start on the budget.
Samantha's ready to.
Huh?
You ready to start budgeting?
Are we supposed to start that now? It just seems so early.
You're out of here, you're supposed to know that.
Well, I think last year we started in June. I think it was July that we started last year.
No, they started before that.
Did we start it in June?
Yeah.
But especially the part, you could do the part where you put in what will be the 2015 actual expenses.
Yep.
You know, you could do that anytime, and that would be very helpful.
Okay.
And even the 2016, you just take the estimate and put them over.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a real good start.
All right, I'll get stuff set up then.
But the biggest thing is, not the biggest thing, one of the things is, we have to make sure that every department gives us a budget and this prescribed format.
Mm-hmm.
They don't though,
Okay.
but they're gonna have to, or
Even the water board, even the,
everybody.
What are you talking about just for my own curiosity, the prescribed method? Are you talking about,
That format, right?
Yeah.
And I send it out that you do it.
I do it?
Yeah. I send
I was,
you,
I was a little, I was confused.
I mean, a budget,
What did I do
it's
wrong?
straightforward. A budget is a budget. You're supposed to send, here's what the department's gonna spend, and here's what we need for the money, and we look at it, and we just can't be willy-nilly, yes, the water board. And everybody, and if they don't turn it in, their salary's in the budget, they don't get a salary then. I mean, there has to be some kind of, we've gotta make everybody play ball here, because otherwise we're just winging it all the time. Never get this thing straightened out.
well, I tried to explain, Janet come in and was talking to me about the format and stuff like that, and I told her, you know, this is the format that they wanted it in and stuff, so I've kind of explained some stuff to her, so.
And the fair board.
Fair word.
No historical society.
Yeah.
Well, those ones, if we're just gonna fund them at the maximum mills, what do we care?
Right, yeah.
And that's what we did last year, we just kind of put them in all
We
other
kinda did,
levies.
yeah.
We did, because they finally just wore us down, and we couldn't
They just,
They
do
still
anything
get
for the
budget
last
even for their own use.
3 years. We just, but because we, you know, are we gonna get a, well, maybe we'll talk about the budgets later then, but, I mean, this is gonna be a major deal here with the change around with the social services and the money that we're not gonna get.
The 12%.
We don't know what that's gonna be yet.
Are any of you guys going out to legislative wrap up on Monday? No.
no, I wasn't.
No, we do know. No.
So has Sia said what the budget difference is from this last year's budget to what the state is?
We don't know. Because they haven't come up with a funding formula for those based on their caseload.
I thought they used 2015 caseload. Nelson County has their budget already figured out. It's
Right,
about
yeah, I think- I think she
$46,000
did
less than what
mention
it
that
was,
at our
what
last
it was
meeting.
last year.
That's supposed to be zero, isn't it?
They'll be 2 years, they'll be 2 years behind.
Social
Right.
services levy is supposed to be zero.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what the state's gonna fund, they're using their 2015 time standard study, so it's
Yeah.
significantly less than what the counties have been putting into the budget.
But that shouldn't be our concern.
Yeah, Nelson isn't gonna make up that difference.
I don't know what's gonna happen yet.
The overall effect is Ron laid it out on his website pretty well, is 8%. The county is going to have 8% less funds than they had last year, and that's paying zero to social services.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna be a lot, it's gonna be a net loss for the taxpayers because they lose the 12%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
But
the
equating it back with the funding.
4%, yeah, 4% of the net loss is made up by the social services, according to what we levied last year.
That's average.
Yeah.
Well, Ron just took the 4%, took the social services budget from last year and then equated it to the 12% budget, and he came up with 8.34%.
Yeah, and that was for Cooperstown. You know, some of the others.
The net is gonna be less to the counties from the state.
Yeah, in order to make us spend the county make the same money spent as we spent last year, we would have to reduce our budget by 8% or 8.34%, and not fund anything to the social services.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Otherwise, it'd be like the clerk of court was before, where the state funded it and then we kicked in for it.
yeah. And then we still will be actually doing that because we'll be providing
Building.
building, you know. So the only way to really make it correct would be instruct social services to
Charge
take some
grant.
of the money they got and pay back to the county.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to make it actually a zero net sum game, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. So we're gonna be paying all those expenses that were formerly in their budget. We're gonna accumulate them.
Should have padded the social service budget last year.
Well, I don't know what happens to it.
Well, I think it was 20 mils, so
We were right
there's
to
no
the
padding.
20 mils,
No.
the max.
Well, no, we were at 16.43 or
Oh,
something.
really?
Oh,
We were required to lower it because of some of the items that were transferred. to the state.
The question
We
is,
didn't max it out.
Yeah, no, we didn't,
the question is on the budget is they carried over $109,000.
yeah, which I still don't understand why that's there, but.
Well, is that now county funds?
Should be. General fund.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's gonna be.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was asking the question. It should be, unless it was for a long-term purpose. Because money spent at the end of any budget cycle go back to the treasury of the county.
Yeah, it seemed like I saw in that one of those house bills that anything over 100,000 had to go back to the general fund immediately, or that year. But the first 100,000 didn't have to go to the general fund immediately. But I'm just going from memory, so
I haven't read it.
yeah, I'd have to read it again.
You know, the reason that, one of the reasons the state gave for taking over social services is that some counties were hoarding money in their social services. And that they wanted, and other parts of the county too. And that's why they wanted to do away with 12% cost share or 12% share. But that's, of course, you know, that's not the reason, as you pointed out. The biggest cut to cut the budget was money coming to the counties. 99% of that budget was cut,
Yeah.
according to Ron's
Oversight.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't cut any state employees.
No, that was a scare. That was a scare.
Yeah.
And they cut the budget. What budget was it? The
Department of Treasury, I
the
guess.
Department of Treasury, which funded the counties, they cut that by 99%, which was 200.
33 or something.
$1 million, yeah.
235,
So we're not getting any money from the road department either. So that's, I don't know what. When's the next meeting?
19th. 17th. No, May 19th. I was looking at March. Anything else for the go to the order?
Move to adjourn.
Been moved by Sean to adjourn. Is there a second? Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned at 3:05 p.m. on May 5th, 2017. Next meeting will be May 19th at 1 p.m.